The decision was easy, though it was never supposed to be one. It was the last night of camp, and everyone there knew exactly what that meant. It was calling night. This was the night where they would talk about which students were called to go into ministry, and they would send them out, and if you weren't one of those select few, then, well, you would get a blanket message about using your gifts for the kingdom. And this one started out pretty quick, because the speaker took the stage and he had a stack of CDs in his hand. And one boy, oh, he perked up real quick. He recognized those CDs. You see, those were the camp band CDs. They were the CDs that he walked past and looked at a little bit longer every day. They were the CDs that he really wanted to get, but he didn't have the money for. So when the speaker asked a question, he caught on. Answer the question, you get a CD. That's how this is going to work. How many of you feel that you are called to go into the ministry? Oh, he was quick to get on his feet. He glanced around, but he barely even noticed them. All he saw is the speaker, and he saw the CDs. But then the guy started asking another question to each student. What type of ministry do you think you're called to go into? And this was actually a pretty easy decision too. He was going into 9th grade, and like all of his friends, he said that he hated kids and adults were boring, so that only really left one option that they were given: youth ministry, whatever that even meant. So even though he decided he never really felt like he was called to go into ministry, maybe it wasn't lying if he didn't know for sure. That's the way it works, right? So when it got to him, he got his CD, answered the questions, sat down, looked at the CD, smiled. All right, it's done. Time to move on with the night. But then something strange happened. You see, his sister was also at the camp. And after the service, she came up to him, and it was as if she knew somehow. She walked up and said, "I hope you really meant that, and that you didn't just say it to get a CD." Oh, his heart started beating really fast. No, he shook his head. "I definitely meant it." And she took that as an answer and moved on, as if he would tell her the truth, as if he could ever admit to her that she was right. But then again, maybe they both were. Maybe it was in that moment when a boy thought he was getting away with a lie that God looked down and nodded with him. Maybe when God sent his sister to ask him that question, it was one final chance. You sure you want to go down this road? And maybe when he said, "I definitely meant it," God was nodding too and said, "I agree. Good choice." Because while he may have said the lie that summer, he would find out in the next year just what it meant to be called into youth ministry. And oh, he was called into youth ministry. And still is. And you know, to this day, it's still my favorite CD. What's your story?